In 1998 at the U.S. Comedy Arts Festival, that's where he did the famous like women doing comedy. Women aren't funny, basically. I don't like women comedians. I think of her as a producing machine that brings babies into the world.
Oh, great.
And by the way, not saying it to be funny. He really doesn't think women. Yeah, he doesn't think women are funny. A few years later, he was at the Cannes Film Festival. A reporter asked him again, and he just said that his favorite female comedians were Cary Grant and Burt Reynolds. I'm like, he's a prick. And just once again, like, women aren't funny. Like, I think comedy's beneath them. You know, all this. He fucking sucks. Also, I just wanted to mention one time on his telethon, he dropped like a gay slur on national TV. So that's super dope. During a roast in 2000, one of those Friars Club roasts, Amy Schumer roasted him, and he went up to like give her a hug, but then he started trying to like act like he was going to have sex with her, and she was like, no. And he even asked her like to like buckle down and like lay down, and she said no. And she's like, I had to use my core to stay up. He's a strong motherfucker. I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 2016, he did an interview with the Hollywood Reporter. It's pretty famous if y'all want to Google it. It's like 7 minutes of the most fucking awkward shit you've ever seen, where this reporter asks him questions and he gives like one-word answers, but it's not funny, like between the ferns type. So he's doing it because he's a prick. So they're like, you know, are you thinking about retiring? And he's like, why?
Because you're old.
Nothing else. You know, hey, are there any, like, do you have any similar qualities to like Bob Hope or George Byrne? None. How is it performing? Is it different now, performing now? It isn't. Like, he's just such an asshole.
Why'd you even bother?
I know. I'm like, he's such a dick. So he died of heart disease in August. Yeah. In August 20th, 2017. He was 91. I'm like,
Canadians for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After he died, his children and grandchildren from the first marriage discovered they were written out of the will. He left them nothing. And he actually named them specifically to not receive anything. He left everything to his widow. And of course, one more thing, we need to talk about the day the clown cried. So if people don't know about this movie, it is like one of Hollywood's like forbidden movies. Almost nobody has seen it. It is set during the Holocaust, and it stars Jerry Lewis as a circus clown, and his name here is Helmut Dork. It's like Doork. And he doesn't act. He makes fun of Hitler, and Hitler throws him in a concentration camp. And next thing you know, he's like, you know, he's got the striped uniform on and all this stuff. And he basically works as someone who leads children to the gas chamber, like a Pied Piper, like a hilarious comedian that leads these kids to the. It sounds like, what the fuck that anyone thought this was a good idea. I don't know. I mean, we have things like Life is Beautiful now, so I don't know. Maybe it works, but I don't think it does.
No.
So Harry Shearer has seen it, apparently, the comedian, actor, writer. He
Derek
saw
Smalls from Spinal Tap.
What?
Derek
Yes.
Smalls from Spinal Tap.
Yes, he said that he has seen it. He called it drastically wrong and a painting on black velvet of Auschwitz.
Oh.
Like, I'm like, damn. So here's the deal. Jerry Lewis died. He left the movie to the Library of Congress on the condition that it won't be shown until June 2024. So we've only got 2 more years to go, people. And then maybe it'll show up on Netflix and we can all watch The Day the Clown Cried. 2 more years. And that's our creep, Jerry Lewis.
Holy shit, Sonia. What an asshole
creep, right?
he was. I remember those telethons, and they were so just, he would start crying.
Yes.
He would do them for hours and hours, and he would just take his jacket off and unbutton his shirt and get all sweaty and gross. And what was the song he sang? Oh, there was
I don't remember.
Some dreary song he would sing at the end, and it
was it Send in the Clowns?
Isn't it rich? No, but he would be around these kids, like these poor, like they can't walk. They're in their chair. Every day is just pain. Everything is pain.
Man.
And it's just like, Jesus Christ.
Such an asshole.
Yeah, it's just not it's ableism. That's, if you're wondering what ableism is, if you think that's a silly thing, it's not a silly thing.
Yeah, I'm glad that we finally scratched this guy off our list. Yeah. And once again, thanks to Vanity Fair for the article and for everyone for sharing it, because then it moved him right up the list. He's fucking trash.
He's really good. I'm also blanking on the movie from Martin Scorsese movie.
Oh, King of Comedy.
He's good in that, but he plays an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I think not a stretch.
Yeah.
Not a stretch.
Yeah. So do you want to hear about somebody who's a comedian who's not a creep?
Please. Okay. I can't wait.
I was going to go different ways. Currently, right now, did I remember to say Patreon, that it was Raina who signed up for Patreon? I wonder if I did. Just going back.
I don't remember. Sorry.
Patreon, Raina, thank you. You're awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was going to talk about the president of Ukraine, because he used to be a comedian and an actor. And I'm like, the war just started there. It's really intense. Yeah. I just kind of felt like I want to go for something more fun, but somebody who's also political. And we talked about him on Dorking Out, but I never talked about him here. So his name is Hal Sparks. He was in Queer as Folk. Mm-hmm. He was on VH1's Best Week Ever, all I Love 90s. He is a working comedian. He goes on the road. He's based in Las Vegas. And I follow him on Twitter, and I watch his YouTube channel, and he just speaks for the righteous. There are so many creeps out there that have turned right-wing creeps out there, especially now with the Ukraine, where we have people just openly mocking the president of the Ukraine. I think, what was her face? Laura from Fox News. She's on our list.
Laura Ingraham.
Ingraham said that he was pathetic. I mean, there's just so many people. Hal Sparks is incredibly intelligent, super funny, and just bats away all the bullshit that people say. And Russell Brand is now a right-wing guy on YouTube. And
it's so interesting how when these comedians do something really shitty and they get called out on their behavior, they run to like the right wing side. Because Louis, what happened? Oh, you went away for a second.
You went away for a second.
There you are.
There you are. Hi, friend.
You were gone.
And now I'm here.
So did you. Hi, you're back.
No, so Louis.
I was just saying that Louis C.K. did that.
Well, a lot of them are.
Dennis Miller.
Yeah, Dennis Miller did that. I'd say Dave Chappelle's doing that. Like, it's sort of going in this direction of just like, oh, nothing makes you people you lefties. You don't laugh about anything. Everything is serious. I'm going to stick with people who still know how to laugh. Like, it's like, I laugh at inappropriate things all the time. Like, believe me. But it's just that there's right is right and wrong is wrong. And
I like
Putin
people
sucks.
who punch down.
Hal doesn't do that. And by the way, if you see his comedy, he really doesn't talk about politics very much. It's just about life. But if you follow him on social media, he's very much about politics. So he's become, I kind of have a crush on him, but he's in a relationship and he's very happy, and I'm not going to interfere with that. But and he's a cat guy.
I'm starting to have a crush on him too.
Yeah, he is like this beautiful lock of Fabio kind of hair going for him now. He grew his hair out, but he has a YouTube show a couple of times a day, and he's just talking about stuff.
A day?
Oh yeah, hours. Now I don't. Wow. But sometimes at night I have him on my Kindle, and I'll just turn his show on, and I just kind of lay in bed, and when we had 4 years of Trump, I didn't sleep well at all for 4 years.
Yeah.
And everything that's going on in the world, it's just so nice to hear his voice, because he tells jokes, but he's also like talking about stuff that's makes me feel better. And so I fell asleep to Hal Sparks like many nights a week. So
he's turning into your Calm app.
He is my Calm app.
You're my Calm app.
Yes, thanks, Hal Sparks. So follow him on social media at Hal Sparks. He's totally worth it. He's funny as shit, and he loves like hair metal bands. Like he's a fun person and just a nice, cool guy nowadays. Especially like I said, like I was shocked to find out like Russell Brand supporting Russia recently, and
what the fuck,
and there's a few of them at Tucker Carlson. There's
he's fucking gross.
He's not a comedian, but he's fucking gross. But it's just like a lot of gross men and gross people just being really gross.
Gross people.
And somebody's got to call them out, and it's like that's smarter than them and funnier than them. I always want to support that. So that's my not creep this week.
Excellent pick.
Thank you. If you like the sound of our voices, Hal Sparks, we have another show in case you want to know.
If you want to join us on the other show, you're welcome.
We have Dorking Out, where we dork out about movies. Right now, what is the movie Airheads. We have Airheads now, one of the best movies ever. Got great responses from that. And this weekend, we're going to be covering Beverly Hills Cop, the original.
Yes.
1984, Eddie Murphy. I haven't seen it in its entirety in a very long time. So is it going to hold up?
I think parts of it will and parts of it won't. And we will definitely call it out. But I am looking forward to that. It's going to be a fun one. And if you're curious, we're also going to be participating in F This Movie Fest, which is the all Twitter film festival that happens on Saturday. You could go to fthismovie.com and there's a whole tab there where they list out all the movies they're going to show or you're supposed to play and what time. And we do it every year. It's super fun. So
they pick a year.
Do it.
And this year it's 1996. And you go to, it's literally the letter F and then this movie and go to Twitter. And they just set up the movies for different times. At Central Time, I believe they list it. Yeah. So you got to, for me, it's the math you have to do. But you just start with boom, like From Dusk Till Dawn, and they just everybody just starts chiming in, and it's so much fun, and it's just such a good time. That's this Saturday the 5th, so we will be dropping on the 6th, Dorking Out.
Yes.
Now,
correct.
Next week it's going to be, I guess it's episode 10, so it's going to be our season closer.
Oh,
and I've got one hell of a closer. We're going to be talking about. Well, tune in, you'll find out. It's going to be a big one. But thank you guys so much. Thank you all so much for supporting us. We really appreciate it. Go on Patreon if you want to support the show financially, or just leave us a review, social media. That'd be great. If you have ideas for creeps, and especially not creeps, because we're always looking for suggestions for that, go to social media. We love it when you use the Annie Potts gift from Ghostbusters. We got one. We got one. Or you could just be clever and think of something on your own. And Sonia, where can they find you?
You can find me at thesoniashow.com on Twitter and Instagram and the TikTok. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Brooklyn Fitchick, mostly for Twitter and Instagram. My site is brooklynfitchick.com. Thank you all again for listening. We'll be back soon with a new episode. In the meantime, stay safe and don't be a creep.
Thank you for listening to us talk about creeps. You can follow us at What a Creep Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
But don't follow us too closely.
You can email us your creepy stories at whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com.
But please keep your dick pics to yourself.